Hey viewers, welcome to VL Astrology. Once again, I wish you all a very happy Lodi and a very happy Makar Sankranti. And today I'm going to be with Ashwin sharing with you my insights on the Sun's ingress in Capricorn and which is happening from 14th of January till the 13th of Feb 2026. So this is the first video of the year with Ashwin. Welcome Ashwin and a very happy new year to you.
Happy New Year to you. Thanks for having me, and Happy New Year to all your audience, the
Thank you
wonderful
so much.
audience who
Thank
welcome
you
me
so
each and
much.
every month.
Yeah, thank you. So I hope the year is better than before. I'm sure it is far better than because it's as it is a sun's year. I've made a video on the same that it is not just sun's year, it is 1 and 0 year. So it's again more powerful. It's not 0 1, it's 1 0. So
Yeah,
so I will be sharing the screen of the day of the ingress of Sun, and it is Taurus ascendant, which is rising here when we put up the chart of this. So over to you, Ashwin. I hope the screen is sharing, and you can just
yes.
start off with your insights on the same, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, to start with, we have Taurus rising and the rising sign in Mrigashira Nakshatra. The ascendant is in Mrigashira Nakshatra, and Mrigashira is all about the constant search for excellence. Though it is symbolized by the deer. So, what does a deer do? Deer is constantly looking down at the ground, and it is always moving on, searching for something. So, Mrigashira is about being on a quest or searching for something constantly. Only that the Mrigashira that falls in Taurus is a little different from Gemini. It is fixated on its purpose rather than uh, Gemini, where it is constantly moving on without much fixation. So it can consume whatever it wants or whatever it sees. But in Taurus, it is fixated to one particular idea and searching for different information or resources or quest within that particular topic. So I think as a nation, we are in that place where we are constantly in search. And sun's transit, first thing is sun, Capricorn in general is all about power. uh, it's about the institutional regulations or administration, and also practical accountability that we all need to kind of put in here. So it brings in a lot of issues related to authority and leadership, and also in terms of this chart, it is the ninth house chart. So long term foreign policy and foreign diplomacy is most likely to come in. So so we are looking at I want to talk about the economy, foreign relations, and also some of the geopolitical issues because of what is going on in Iran, and especially after US's strikes on Venezuela, and India's surprise of staying quiet and not literally kind of making any statement is very interesting, which means that India has seen something which makes it to remain not necessarily silent, but a very keen observant as to what is going on. So both Venezuelan issue and what is going on in Iran is going to have long-term geopolitical impact. And Trump is also looking at invading Greenland, which means there is every chance that NATO is going to collapse. And how does it affect India? Because if NATO collapses, and if there is no real order, China is free to attack Taiwan, Arunachal Pradesh, or Ladakh, or whatever they want, and Russia can go and take whatever territories they want in the western uh, uh, provinces. I mean, in the western region of their country. So there is going to be a lot of chaos if NATO dissolves. So all this will have a lot of implications on what will happen in India. So to start with economy, finance, and inflation, I think Jupiter is retrograde, and it does not necessarily mean that something is going to collapse in the second house, which is all about economy and finance. but it indicates that we need to kind of reassess as a nation as to where we are progressing as far as the economic policies and reforms are concerned. And it is actually a very good time to do some groundwork, especially with Capricorn. It is important that the nation does the groundwork that is necessary by fragmenting different parts of financial budget and bringing out the best budget that fits the times that we are living in. So there will be a lot of narratives that is going on related to inflation, GDP optimism, that the government projects, and also what a common man feels. None of this really kind of fits in. There are two camps. Obviously, one is saying that inflation is controlled, and other is saying that inflation is too high. And obviously, the current ruling party is very keen on promoting that India is the fifth largest economy in the world by projecting the GDP. But if we look at the per capita income, we are not even close to being anywhere near a developed country, and we are still a very slowly developing economy. So we should not get into all kind of extra optimism, and we should focus on the ground reality. Um, so the economic numbers will constantly be put out, but we should look at the real money that an average Indian gets and how much he's able to spend and how much he's able to save, and that still is really under a lot of question mark. So, and that will continue to remain a question mark at least for this 1 year, primarily because Mercury is also. Uh, your screen sharing is gone now.
I don't know what's wrong. Something or the other is happening, and my signals are also bad. I have no idea
Right.
what happens.
Okay,
in
it's okay.
between.
I remember the chart. I can speak from that.
Yeah, yeah.
So Mercury is also placed in the eighth house, which is another challenge. The second lord indicating finance, and also the fifth lord indicating the reserves and surplus of the nation is placed in the eighth house, which means it is not necessarily a good thing. But there is a mutual exchange between Mercury and Jupiter, so which means that there is some kind of a saving grace as far as the economic situation is concerned. So, so there is a lot of disproportion that is still going on, and it will continue to be there, and it will end up being a pressure point across social media, and a lot of people will talk about it. And social media will naturally come into place because of Sun and Venus's placement in Capricorn. So, where is this foreign policy or economic policy directed? What is the long-term vision of the nation, and what is the international legitimacy of India as far as the public platform is concerned? So India is trying to project itself as the leader of the global south, but which is in a way it is true because as opposed to China, which basically kind of leads the nations into some kind of a debt trap, India is genuinely trying to support different countries in Africa and also Southeast Asia to kind of project an image that it is actually genuinely supporting the nations in terms of developing infrastructure and to promote the living status of the people. So I think that is going to continue. There is going to be a lot of emphasis on foreign policy, and I think India is shifting its foreign policy from the US very, very swiftly because of the tariffs. And as a result of India's dealing with Iran, I think India will go through further more tariff as Trump announced that. I mean, there is a potential chance for the countries that do trade with Iran will be imposed another 25% of tariffs. So India is in a really forceful situation where it needs to find out new partners for trade. I think Germany is one of those partners. Russia is one of those partners. So India is trying to find out a lot of trade partners, and I think all that is going to succeed in a way, and all that is going to kind of come up uh, in a very large way, and it is going to help us push our economy further than we imagined. So preserving a lot of diplomatic position that India has been projecting itself as the leader of the global south will come into forefront, and we will try to reform and shift our foreign policies, especially in terms of where we export and from where we import. It is going to be thing, but still, I think there will be a little bit of a defensive position that we are not going to take, because it is not our credibility in question, because the entire world knows the credibility of India, but it is all about the sustainability of the foreign policies that India is implementing. And therefore, I think India will be very, very careful in terms of how it structures or disciplines the foreign policy. And it will be very interesting to see what kind of groundwork that India puts in as far as the finance budget is concerned, which might be, coming into discussion as part of late February or early March. So negotiations will happen, but India will also strategically distance from countries that turns out to be untrustworthy. So with Moon in the seventh house of Scorpio, I think Moon was in the seventh house, if I'm not wrong. So Moon is in the seventh house of Scorpio. So the Moon is debilitated and Moon is fallen. And
It is
seventh house
debilitated.
is and the seventh house is the collaborators or partners
I don't
that
know why
India
the
has.
screen is not sharing. I'm
Oh, it's
so
okay. I remember the
disturbed.
chart, so don't worry.
No, how will
Don't worry
people
about it.
see the chart? That's my only
Oh,
worry.
yeah, I understand
Yeah,
that.
no problem.
So the challenge overall is about kind of putting things into perspective and maintaining a distance from those nations who have willfully kind of isolated India. And the seventh lord is responsible for collaborations and partnerships and also direct oppositions. So Moon is debilitated in the seventh house. So we can expect some backstabbing during this period, and that too very, very explicitly. And there will be a lot of emotional outpour that will happen across the nation as a result of that. But I think overall, Saturn is also placed in the 12th house, which again indicates that we are probably kind of en route to face more tariffs from America. And remember, the Lord of the 10th house, which is Saturn, is placed in the 12th house.
Hmm.
So leadership is going to come into question. Administration is going to come into question in many ways. And politics is not really very clean at this point in India. So everyone is trying to attack, and with elections coming up in Tamil Nadu in late April or May, there is
Hmm.
a major drama going on here, and especially cinema and politics in Tamil Nadu is really interconnected. And the advent or the entry of one of the major stars of Tamil cinema coming into the political scene has caused a lot of uh, changes or shifts in the current political scene in Tamil Nadu, and the existing ruling parties are slightly uncomfortable because of what is going on. And as I say, it's going to be an interesting scene in Tamil Nadu. And what is going to build up during this point, because there is a lot of CBI cases and cases that are going on that are related to Tamil Nadu and Delhi at this point. So Jupiter, the Lord of justice, and Saturn, the planet of law, is placed in the 12th house, and Jupiter, the planet of justice, is placed in the second house of the rising sign Taurus. And there is going to be some kind of unexpected outcomes as far as the legal decisions are concerned, or maybe there won't be any decisions that is going to come out anytime soon. So that is also a big challenge. So movies will face problems. Movies that have cases that are going on in court will be prolonging, and there will be challenges as far as the economic situation of film industry is concerned, because of the fifth lord placed in the eighth house. That is a lot of entertainment. And Venus is also in the ninth house, which is good in a way in Capricorn. But Venus will be conjunct the
But it is
sun.
combust.
Yes,
Hmm.
it is combust. So there will be a challenge that we have to kind of go through as part of in terms of the entertainment industry is concerned. So coup operations, especially with Saturn in the 12th house against the nation from foreign uh, countries or anti-national forces, will continue to happen and especially given that Mars is placed in the 8th house, squaring Saturn, which is placed in the 12th house of Pisces, there is also possibility of violence and bloodshed, and one can only hope that nothing of that sort really happens. So obviously, overall, public anxiety is very clear. Moon is placed in the 7th house, it is in debility, and Sun is in the 9th house. Although there is no direct confrontation of the people against the government, I think there is a little bit of a discomfort that the people of the nation are having as far as the economic situation and foreign policy is concerned, because the tariffs have already started hitting the people who have been relying on exports to America, and it's kind of cost the livelihood of many people. And hopefully, the government will find out some kind of a way out with Sun's entry into Capricorn as part of this, the 9th house transit. So economy stability is more important, and we should hope for stabilization, but not for growth. And if we don't have economic growth at this point, it is important for us to not take to social media and curse the leaders of the nation, because the entire world is going through something like that. And this is the period where India is also going through a little bit of a challenges. The government will claim that inflation is maintained, but in reality it will not be really seen, and therefore there will be challenges and outpours. There will be some kind of authoritative situations in the nation. At this point, there will be some really eyebrow raising decisions that will come from the government, because Rahu is in the 12th house, and on the other hand, Rahu in the 10th house, and Ketu is placed in the 4th house of Leo, which means the domestic condition of the people, or the way people perceive the government decisions, is going to be a little questionable, because there is going to be some radical stuff that might happen during this period. So negotiations will happen in terms of foreign policy, but we cannot hope for any sudden shift or change. I think we should wait for a slow strategy that builds up over a period of time, because we are constantly dealing with people that kind of try to put down the nation from within India. We don't need to go outside India. So that is there on the one hand, and conflicts may happen. Riots among people will happen. Religious outpours sometimes will kind of come out into perspective. So this is the time for us to kind of consolidate on what is going on within the nation, and not to try and manage the perception of the entire world. So I think now is the time to consolidate, stabilize, and slowly move forward, sticking to practicality, and do the groundwork that needs to be done, so that we'll be ready for tomorrow.
I agree with you 100%, Ashwin, because the chart that has been put up here is Taurus rising, any which way. So this is, first of all, Sun is in the Capricorn sign. It is Uttarayan, as you know, it is the onward journey towards the north. Yeah. So that is something which is very positive. I hope I'm not breaking. Is it clear?
You are clear.
Okay. So this is something which is very positive, and in the Saturn sign, it is natural karaka for discipline, structure, authority, limitations, realism. So here we can understand that the core theme is going to be authority, governance, systems, accountability. So you will focus on work, responsibilities, reputation, but you must understand that the planets one by one will be transiting from the 8th house, like Venus and Mars here. Venus and Sun are together right now in the sign of Capricorn. Then Mars will be transiting on the 16th and 17th. Mercury will also be joining in. So they are definitely going to be getting combust also. So it is a suppressed assertiveness when we talk about Mars. Conflicts may internalize or expressed explosively if not managed well. It's the 9th house, so religious, as you rightly mentioned. Then there can be miscommunication, because Mercury is also going to be combust in the Capricorn sign. So overthinking, confusion, technical glitches might happen. And Venus is trained harmony in luxury, finance, arts, romance, diplomatic finesse, and also film industry, as you rightly mentioned, that can be compromised. Then people will demand clarity on smaller issues also. They will want to have clarity. And this is not that a easy transit, I would say, this time. By because it is the Taurus ascendant which is rising, and the Lord is combust. So Taurus governs money, food, resources, banking, agriculture, stability of economies, comfort versus insecurity. So the world is primary under the survival instinct. There can be money, inflation, commodities, stability. So this is a little tough phase for that reason. And Sun is head of state, so they might just head of states, presidents, we can say kings, prime ministers, whosoever you want to call the law authority or the government. Now, when this is getting active, it is the ninth house which is getting active. I wish, I hope I could share the screen, because it's so essential to show you the chart. I don't know, somehow there is a glitch happening these days in in Zoom. I have no idea what's wrong. I think they are. One second, let me try it out once again. Maybe it works. No, it won't, I guess. Let me see.
I
Okay,
can try and log in. If we'll see what
yeah,
happens.
you can log in, right? You can share
Yeah,
the screen.
I'll try. Yeah, I can try. Yes, 1 minute.
Yeah,
I need to just
you can
open
just
this.
send me the prompt to share the screen. I'll just allow you to share the screen. It's better that the screen is shared, so that we can.
Yeah, I will. 1 minute. Let me put up and
Yeah,
just get back.
I'll make you the host, I think. Yeah, now you can. Now you will be able to. So what exactly I was saying was that in the ninth house is getting active. So international law, treaties, Supreme Courts, religion, national ideologies, global diplomacy. So here the world leaders are being judged right now. And also, there is judged by history, law, and destiny. Okay. So I think leaders will be exposed also, Ashwin. Leaders will be exposed. And are you able to share the screen? You are on mute. So Sun,
Just a
of
minute. I
course.
closed the chart. I have to reopen again.
Okay, don't worry, don't worry. I'm going to be talking about so many things right now. So it is armies will be under pressure because Mars is combust. Mars is military, war, aggression. So leadership will be unable to act freely. So frustrated military actions can be there, explosive incidents can be there. Mercury can bring in fake news also. So you have to be very careful about the rumors, and negotiations might just fail, or stock markets can be confused, or there'll be too much of trend. See, as it is, it's 1-0, as I said, in my earlier videos also, that 1 means it'll be going up and 0 means it'll be coming down. The market will be really crashing also in between. So when it happens, depends on Mercury's condition. So Mercury is combust. So there is a strong likelihood that something is going to happen very soon. So geopolitics is definitely going to become very unstable and full of misinformation and miscalculation also. So this is something which is like, I would say that this is like, don't depend too much on the kind of market you have been thinking of in the past, which has happened. It is going to be completely opposite. And also Saturn in this chart is in the 11th house. Okay, it is in the 11th house. So this is about global alliances, trade blocks, maybe international cooperation, big money networks, because it's in third house from your third house from Sun also, I think. Yeah, it is third house. Yeah. So emotional diplomacy. So they can be that refugees, water issues, oil routes, or maybe, sea borders. These will get impacted. Rahu is in the 10th house in the Taurus rising chart. So this is the most powerful placement: governments, rulers, public power, global reputation, technology, AI. and cyber warfare, radical politics, and shadow government, sudden collapses or rises may happen. So world leadership is driven by technology, surveillance, propaganda. Yeah, this is the chart. Propaganda and unconventional power. So cyber attacks, AI warfare, digital currencies, leaders rising and falling suddenly. Shocking announcements might happen. Moon is debilitated in the seventh house, as you can see. So this is extremely dangerous for the world. This is the chart of the time of India time we are talking about. So this is where, open enemies, international rivals, treaties, trade partners, public mood, fear, population, psychology. So all that is going to be the key theme. So it is debilitated. So there can be some paranoia, there can be revenge, trauma, underground conflicts, espionage, and terrorism. So the world is emotionally unstable and reactive if we look at this chart. Small triggers can happen, and this is also about market becoming volatile because of the fear and because of the fear, and Jupiter is in the second house. So this is global wealth, currencies, food, speech, banking. So inflation, currency, and it is retrograde, by the way. So currency fluctuations will happen, and heavy news flowing, affecting market speculation, debt, expansion. Money is being created, talked about, printed, borrowed, but not stable. Ketu is in the fourth house. So this is about displacement, housing stress, migrant issues, domestic unrest, natural disasters near homes. And globally, governments will be under pressure, and leaders losing credibility, facing legal, moral, and political crisis, forced into difficult foreign policy decisions. And Moon in Scorpio, Mars combust, and Rahu in the 10th, terror incidents, border tensions, and military miscalculations. And financial instability because it's a Taurus Lagna, and Mercury is also combust. So stock market volatility, gold, oil, food prices will be fluctuating, panic driven buying and selling. And as regards to your, don't buy gold out of fear right now, because people are running after gold too much. I know it might just go up this year again, but yes, this is a karmic reckoning time, political instability time, financial uncertainty, and technological shadow warfare. So it's better that, this unstable kind of energies that you're there feeling already, it is not a collapse, but it is a very unstable rebalancing phase. So especially, India, US, China, Middle East, or gold stock crypto market, this might just be getting more impacted. So this is what is the generic viewpoint of mine. And when we talk about the, one second, I had prepared a presentation, actually, a short presentation, a document kind of a thing, which was like, I'll just read it out. Sun's transiting through the nakshatras. It is going to be in the nakshatra of Uttara Ashara from Jan 14th to 24th. So long-term success, moral leadership, authority, disciplined outcomes. So this is positive. Shravana from 24th Jan to 6th Feb, the listener. So deep inner wisdom, strategic listening, learning, reputation is clear, communication, and disciplined planning. When it moves into the Anishta, this Surya, then that is from 6th to the 13th of February. So wealth and rhythm, power, resource management, and music and flow, collective achievements. There are new moons and full moon dates also. This is very very important to know. New moon is on the 18th of January, and this is in the Capricorn sign. So new moon is grounding intentions, mental clarity, planning, prayer, and a potent time to set realistic goals. And full moon is on the 1st of February in Taurus. So culmination, value, beauty, emotional fulfillment, inner richness, time to appreciate what you have built. So this is what is the key theme of this transit of Sun. And we can take it up with the sign-wise prediction. So you can write here Aries first, Ashwin, and you can start with the reading. Over to you.
I don't know how to make the text large.
When you write it, no, there is the color when you change.
Yeah.
Over there, it is written the size of the text below that, 36 and 24 and all that. Anyhow, you can write Aries, then it's okay. You can simply just write Aries. Don't worry. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's rotate the chart also. It's right on top. Can you see this next to the clock? Next to the save.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it from here also. Yeah. 10 minutes
So,
and 1 hour or something.
okay, you want me to go to Aries rising?
Yes, so that we can do the predictions, right?
Correct. I don't usually use this, so I'm not really proficient.
Okay. No worries.
Just a minute. Yeah.
It's fine. It's perfectly fine. What is everybody writing over here? Let me see.
Okay, I think we got that. Okay. Aries rising. So what is the key changes for Aries rising during this time is from the previous thing. I think on November 30th, Saturn turned direct. So we did not do the video in December, unfortunately. So Saturn is turned direct in the 12th house, and Venus is entering the 10th house. And apart from that, Sun, Mars, and Mercury are placed in the. The Sun is in the 10th house, and Mars is basically in the 9th house along with Mercury. So Jupiter is aspecting Mars and Mercury, but very quickly Mars and Mercury will be entering Capricorn. So it is the 10th house. So there is a lot of changes or practical situations that we may have to consider as far as the professional situation is concerned. So there is going to be uh, I won't say pressure, but there is going to be a lot of prominence that we need to have as far as career is concerned. Venus is there, Sun is there, Mars is there, and then Mercury is there. So now is the time for you to plan for your profession and make sure that you do the right thing by being at the right time. There is every chance that you will be able to be recognized at your workplace, and your communication and everything will be very very clear and practical. But sometimes there is a chance for you to kind of just overdo or be a little what do you call a little harsh in terms of what you say because of Mercury's placement with the Mars. And there is also this risk of being taken wrongly, because what we say does not necessarily go in the same way because of Mercury's placement with Mars. So Mercury is the third and the sixth ruler in the 10th house. So career-wise, this is a great position. There is going to be a lot of initiatives. There is going to be a lot of courageous movements that you're going to take at this point in time, because third house is initiative or the beginning of desires and courage. Sixth house in general is what we do in our daily routine or daily life, and Mercury ruling the third and the sixth house is placed in the 10th house of career. So there might be a little bit of frustration as to why things are not happening as you intend, but it is more psychological, because given the situation with Mars exalted in the 10th house, your rising sign ruler, you're naturally kind of outgoing and you don't want to wait. You constantly want to keep moving. And Capricorn is also this movable sign which constantly kind of puts things into movement. And you want recognition very quickly, you want to be seen very quickly, you want to achieve the fruits very quickly. So everything is kind of moving in a very quick situation. So the pause that Mercury is going to bring in as the sixth lord is not necessarily something that you would like.
Ashwin, sorry to interrupt you. Can you put Sun in the 10th house?
Yeah.
Can you just rotate the chart? Like just move a few minutes ahead, maybe an hour or so, or maybe a day. You can just shift a day and
Yeah,
then
I
it
think a
will.
day is good.
Yeah.
Where is day? Yeah.
Thanks.
So
Better.
no problem. So working with all these things, with challenges and the idea of constantly moving forward very quickly, and the pressure, in fact, like with the 10th house prominence, in a way we feel the pressure to kind of constantly keep progressing, and it gets inside our heads and we feel it inside. And even though sometimes the pressure might not be actually coming in from outside, the self-imposed pressure that we have from inside is going to kind of make us go crazy, especially because Mars, after Mars's movement into Capricorn. So all this is really changing the way we work, and and sometimes creating frustrations and challenges as well. So the statements that we make are going to be very sharp, and we have to be very careful as to we are not giving out any loose talks in terms of what we are speaking. And Rahu in the 11th house is constantly there, so you are expecting gains, especially with Jupiter's aspect on Rahu. You are expecting gains, but again, the gains may not be very quick. So again, there is another reason for frustration. So for Aries rising natives, this is actually a very good period, but it is just that your own expectation is turning out to be a little challenging for you to deal with. But overall, the conjunction of the third ruler, sixth ruler, the Lord of the rising sign, and the second ruler is setting up a platform where you're going to plan for a bigger future, be it economically, financially, or professionally. So now is the time for you to lay the platform, and this is why Aries rising natives are actually lucky to start with this 10th house Capricorn prominence, because you have this meticulousness that is kind of helping you prepare, and you have this pragmatism that is staying with you. So it is just that you need to stay in reality in terms of how quickly you can move. So you cannot have uh, a kind of a TVS scooty and expect you to kind of uh, travel as fast as a Bugatti or something like that. So that's not going to happen. So be realistic, be practical, but I'm sure this is going to be a really positive period for you, except that you keep your expectations in check.
All right. So when Sun is going to be in the 10th house, it is activating your 10th house career, authority, professional validation. So it's a time for restructuring your goals, need to balance drive with patience. Leadership demands discipline, not impulse. And Sun here is the karma, actually. You need to perform now. And definitely it is a time for visibility, success, with Mercury and Venus also joining in, one by one, Mars also joining in. So this is going to be a great time for recognition, awards, public image building. And it is going to be in the third house. The lord of this from itself, that is Saturn, is there. So some efforts that you're putting now will be paid off in not immediate future, but they will be. So you have to be a little more positive, and you have to take this in a stride. And also there's a new moon on the 18th, so it is ideal for setting career goals, and full moon will be on the 1st of Feb. So we'll highlight your work life balance, ask for leadership roles, update professional profile, and don't let ego block you from taking feedback. Nakshatra sun will be transiting is going to be Uttarashara, Shravana, and Dhanishta. So Uttarashara, I've given the dates in the beginning. So propose structured plans during the Uttarashara transit, and then Shravana, speak wisely, gain reputation, and Dhanishta, work in teams for public success. And also, I'm giving you the periods 14th to 18th Jan, goal clarity, set up work routines. 18th Jan, new moon, initiate work plans and health regime. And late January, communication caution because Mercury is combust, double check contracts. And 1st Feb, creative breakthrough, teach or showcase. Share your work progress, speak up responsibly, rushing anything would be really an adverse impact on your image also. And if we see, Sun is the ruler of the 5th house. And for you, it is 5th house ruler. That means you are going to meet someone during this time period who's going to really change your life. And this transit of the year, Sun is Digbali also, is the best transit for you, I would say. So is the 11th house transit, but Rahu is there and we'll be heading to eclipses next month onwards. So you need to do whatever you have to, take the initiative now and finish it off immediately. In case you're thinking of getting a job, in case you're thinking of relocating. So it's a beautiful time period. Conception, childbirth, romance, anything that you are thinking of will definitely come to true. Okay. So this is a good time period for you guys. Coming to Taurus. Over to you, Ashwin.
I have to change this annotation.
Now you know I do this every time.
Yeah, I usually what I do is while teaching, I use my tab
I
and I annotate with pencil. But here
Okay.
it's that
It's
is much
completely
easier.
different. You'll get used to it. Don't worry. You'll get used to it.
Yeah. And moving to
Yeah,
Taurus
you need
first.
to change the
Yes,
chart.
I am moving. Yeah, Taurus rising. So naturally, we are looking at the activation of the 9th house again, which is Capricorn. So father, spirituality, religion, or philosophical ideologies naturally come into play. The belief systems that you have or that you've been having over a period of time will come into prominence. It is good to kind of stick to some philosophical texts if you want. This is a very good period. And given that the Lord of the rising sign in the 9th house, and after that, Sun, one of the ruler of angles or Kendra, is in the 9th house, and Mars, the ruler of the 7th house, another Kendra, is also in the 9th house, and Mercury, the lord of Trikona, is in the 9th house. So this is a very, very, very positive period for Taurus rising natives, especially in terms of what you're publishing or what you're saying in terms of the 9th house matters is going to come into prominence. Try to kind of communicate good things to people and show some love and be very kind to people. So it's going to be really important. So ideological experiences will shape you, and your own personal policies and how you have been kind of driven by principles is going to put you out in the public. So it is going to determine the way you have taken your life direction. 9th house, the house of dharma. It is the house of righteousness, the ethics, the house of ethics. So, and the lord of the 9th house is placed in the 11th house, which is actually a good thing in terms of house. There is accidental dignity. But on the other hand, it is also kind of Saturn, which does not really do well in Pisces in a water sign. And therefore, there is going to be some kind of slowness in terms of how things are going to manifest as far as the 9th house matters are concerned. So, if you are looking for a mentor, or if you have been trying to kind of join a course or do a spiritual retreat or something, now is the good time for you to do that. So, take a quick travel or a spiritual retreat or a vacation, whatever it is, in terms of where you are, and that is going to help you break the rigidity and the chaos that you are going through at this point. The Rahu's in the 10th house. I'm sure career has been kind of taking off. with little bit of ups and downs here and there, but still, I think career is, it's shaping out very well. And now is the time for you to focus on the ethics related to whatever you're doing and make some real long-term plans to showcase how you are going to project yourself as a personality to the outside world. So if you're on social media, be very, very careful as to what you're publishing and what you're saying, because what you're saying now is going to kind of carry a long-term impact and visibility in terms of creating trust as to who you are. So money is going to be a key theme on how you earn money. So one is the seventh lord is involved. So collaborations or partnerships is going to bring some money. So any kind of collaboration or partnership that you've been having in the past and whatever money has been stuck, maybe there is chance of release of all those money related matters. So overall, you will be perceived well as a person, but it might take a little while because Venus needs to kind of quickly move forward from the sun. And during the later part of the month, things will change as Venus moves away from the sun by not being so combust. So things will change towards the end of this period. That is after the first week of Feb or something. So the recognition or the clarity or the direction that you have been waiting for, not just for your position outside, but for your own self, will start emerging. Like the clarity will start emerging. So that's one of the important things. So as far as the emotional situation is concerned, fourth lord in the ninth house, it is a good time to kind of reconnect with your parental roots, be it maternal or paternal, because there is involvement of fourth lord also in the ninth house, which means it is important for you to kind of do some things related to your family. So if you have parents, both the parents, you happily kind of spend some time with them. And if you don't have any one of them or both of them, think about doing some kind of gratitude ritual during this sun's entry into Capricorn, which is on the 14th of January. So anything will work as far as ritual is concerned. Like you can just look at the sun in the morning, light up a candle or something, not candle, but a lamp with oil, which will be very good. So it will work as a gratitude. Or you can water the plants, thinking about your ancestors, and that will also help. So doing all these things will kind of pacify your mind. Now, this is one of those periods where there is a good Raja Yoga. And Raja Yoga doesn't always have to end up with recognition, money, or something, but it actually resonates with what you are thinking internally, whether you are kind of in line with who you are as a person from a righteous ethics point of view. I think from that perspective, for Taurus rising natives, this is a very good period to kind of come into terms with yourself and lead the life in the most principled manner that you want to lead your life. So overall, uh, lucky Taurus natives, enjoy your sun's entry into Capricorn. I think I
Yes,
was
all
talking
the
for
best.
myself.
All the best to the Taurians. Yes, so for Taurus, this is a very beautiful Raja Yoga. As you rightly said, the Kendras are getting connected to the trine. So the first house, fourth house Lord, and in the ninth house, it's a beautiful Raja Yoga. It's a good time for philosophical and spiritual pursuits if you want to follow. Sun will help you realign your belief systems, academic pursuits, and publishing work. You may meet a mentor. Jupiter is going to be also helping you here because Jupiter is in the second house of yours. So this will help you in the teaching roles, advisory roles also. So on the new moon time periods, journaling is a good idea. And full moon time, 1st of Feb, you will get the clarity of your own worth, self-worth. So plan spiritual retreats, legal work, higher studies, and preach without application is not right. So avoid. And it's going to be in Uttarashada, Shravana, and Dhanishta. So commit your beliefs and also, whatever you believe in, and also learn through quiet observation during the Shravana transit. And in case you are a good teacher or something, so Dhanishta would be a very good transit for you if you have any presentation or any kind of legal matters, as a matter of fact, or any kind of spiritual focus. So, or long distance journeys. Dhanishta would be a very good transit for you guys. Connect inner ideology with the outer purpose. So, the theme is wisdom through structure. And also, this is going to be forming a connection if you're focused on budget planning, home finances. So mid-January is a good time period. So this is set financial intentions and saving goals, this transit of Sun. And ego or possessiveness, may surface. So balance heart and wallet. Okay. So this is what is the key theme for this Sun's ingress. And as you rightly mentioned, you can do Surya Namaskar, Surya. What happened? Did we Sun Sagittarius, Gemini Moon? Okay, somebody posted a question, so I was just confused. So, so the thing is that you must actually, perform some remedies like, just gratitude remedies. Gratitude could be that you're going to meet your guru or a mentor and you're going to say thank you. Touch his feet. Or you can also maybe water the sun god, of course. Surya Argya is good. And sun salutation. If you can do the pranayam, sun salutations, that is Surya Namaskar. So that is a very good remedy. And if you want to recite a mantra, Om Grini Suryaya Namaha is a good chant. So you all can do it. It's a generic remedy. Coming to the Gemini sign.
Okay, I think now I'm getting used to it. Anyway, Gemini. So Jupiter has gone retrograde in Gemini in the first house. So now is an opportunity for Gemini rising natives to kind of go back and have this inner conversation with yourself and see what is the wisdom or knowledge that you acquired over a period of past 6 or 7 months during Jupiter's stay in Gemini that you kind of left away just because you had too much of information or you didn't have much time to process all those information. But now, when Jupiter is retrograde, Jupiter stations direct on March 11th, I think. So until then, it's a good opportunity for you to kind of go back and find out what you left and what really kind of adds value to your life at this point, and what kind of shapes you, your ideas and your belief systems as a person is really important. It's going to change. Eighth house is prominent. Capricorn, the eighth house. So probably you're going through some kind of a transformation. It's not a light chart. It is really heavy. It is very transformative. So there is a lot of depth, probably crisis, or maybe inheritance is involved, or sometimes fear or burden that you really cannot describe is involved here. So this is not a very decisive time for Gemini rising natives. It is important for you to kind of keep faith in what you're doing because Jupiter is still there in the first house. So keep faith in what you're doing, but still kind of maintain a low profile and don't be over decisive. Just analyze what is going on and keep doing what you're doing. And this month itself is going to be reasonably transformative, and it is going to kind of propel you to kind of do a lot of things with more discipline, seriousness, with a better strategy and planning. So overall, I think endurance is the key for uh, Gemini rising natives. So speech is naturally good for you, but now at this point, with a lot of the rising sign in the eighth house, especially Mercury, it is important for you to kind of be calculative in your speech. So be measured in terms of what you say. Don't oversay something. Just say only what is necessary, and speak only where it is necessary. Do not put your mouth everywhere, and do not be impulsive. And even if you have some kind of an impulsive thought, because Mars is exalted in the 8th house, so 6th lord in the 8th house, 11th lord in the 8th house, exaltation, so we might kind of find some animosity, or we feel offended by someone very easily, especially with Mars exalted in Capricorn. So it is important for Gemini rising natives to hold on and not be impulsive, and just realize that this is just a phase which is going to move on, because most of the times the impulsiveness is not about what the other person is doing to us, person is doing, but it is about our perception of what it might cause to us, or what it might cause to the situation in terms of what the other person is doing. And that is something that we can kind of let go of, and that is strength and maturity. So lie low during this period. So Sun, the lord of the 3rd house, is placed in the 8th house. So in a way, you just don't know where to put your efforts, and where to kind of have your determination, how to channelize your energy and all these things. So one of the things that you can do, especially with Mars also in the 8th house, is to have a good strategy and planning as to what you want to do. Priority is really important. Sometimes what the risk of for Gemini rising natives during this period is to take on more than what they can handle, and as a result, they might kind of deprioritize something that is really important, and prioritize that something that really kind of has some time. So prioritize your work before you actually start your work. Think about it on a daily basis. uh, Remember, Mercury Mars is conjunct in the 8th house. You need to prioritize, and you need to kind of do the right thing at the right time. And even if you like doing something, make sure that you don't deprioritize something that is far more important, be it at work, or be it at family, or be it in terms of your daily life. So try to prioritize all these things. The karmic responsibility related to everything is going to weigh on you, and there's going to be a little bit of a burden during this period. But I think you can kind of channelize all those into energy by just keeping quiet and focusing on the job that you need to do. And job doesn't mean only profession, but who you are and what you're doing. Just focus on that. Krishna and Bhagavad Gita, as part of Karma Yoga, said that do not expect your results, and just perform your duty. And that is what you need to do during this period. So possibly go ahead and look at Bhagavad Gita's Karma Yoga. It's there in the 3rd chapter. It is going to help you unsettle all the nerves, and realize that nothing is really in our hands, and everything is part of the divine.
Awesome advice. Yes, it is the house of transformation, 8th house, and hidden matters may emerge. It's like an ever learning student you become, because it's the 8th house getting triggered up. So it's a good time for shared resources, for revisiting financial partnerships, inheritance issues, or intimacy, as a matter of fact. And this is also good for shadow work, for deep mastery. It's like, you're working behind the scenes or revisiting what you learned. So it's good if you can get into the student mode, and it's a powerful phase, I would say. I know Sun, people say that it's in the 8th house, but I know when Sun is in the 8th house, it is going to illuminate, it's going to open so many doors. So this is that kind of a time period. This month is when you heal yourself, like you get that light. This is the darkest zone, and when Sun goes there, it is definitely going to give you that heat in that zone. So it is going to be good for your therapy, research, occult sciences, and also, Jupiter is in your lagna, so this will provide you insights also. And Saturn is in the 10th house any which way, so this is definitely deep for inner healing starts, basically. So you can offload your old baggage, and you can face your workload or anything that you're doing very, very strongly and bravely now. And don't resist changes. Just go for it, I would say. In case you have thought of doing something, see, Sun is the lord of your courage. That is 3rd house. It's in the place where Mars exalts. and Mars will also be transiting here. So you will definitely be very courageous. I'm not saying there's a difference. There's a very thin line between courage and impulse. So don't make decisions out of impulse, but do make decisions out of that courage and the boldness, that out of, not out of insecurity now. So this is a very beautiful time period. You must actually secure your shared finances when it is in Uttarashada, and meditate when it is in Shravana Sun. Uncover hidden patterns and rise from what breaks you in Dhanishta. And also, this is the combination of Sun, Mercury, Venus also. So you must not feel that, because Mercury will also be combust. So don't get overwhelmed. Don't get overwhelmed with any kind of situation you're in. So transform through responsibility, not out of impulse or not out of a push that I have to do it. Okay. And also 18th January to late January, I would say, this would be the time for skill enhancement, skill integration. And then after this, by the end of January, social workload or teammate workload might increase. Or maybe, you will have some kind of argument at the workplace, so it can impact you severely, so just be careful about that. And then full moon is on the 1st, so this is good for visibility and leadership also. You will shine with clarity. That's a good transit for you. And when Sun is in the Saturn sign, do remember this is the house of hurdles. This is the house of unexpected loss and gain also. But this suggests that you may get the chance to make profits. You may get the chance to become a new version of yourself. So the more you put the effort, it's like, you're making a sweet. The more the sugar, the better it gets. If it goes beyond one point, it is bitter, because you cannot consume that kind of sugar if it is more. So that moderation is required now. Okay. So it's a good time for being a student. Learn as a student. If you're going through something, just relax. It's okay. This will also pass. This shall pass. And do the remedies that Ashwin has given. Beautiful remedies. They'll really help you. Okay. The Bhagavad Gita remedy. Amazing. So we move on to Cancer, Ashwin. Yes.
Okay, so for Cancer,
the chart
looks
is
like a
not
romantic.
changed.
Oh, sorry.
No worries.
Yes. Yeah. So for Cancer rising natives, looks like a romantic period. A lot of relationship matters involved with prominence in the 7th house. So, see, in general, Cancer rising, very emotional people, and sometimes also impulsive, but it is always with the view to kind of protect, nurture, or even kind of try to just keep whatever they like. So the moon is the ruler of the sign, and moon is this okay meter, as one of my friends say. And it's always about how I'm feeling and how I'm able to kind of respond or react to the situations internally and also externally, and especially with the exact opposition of all these planets, like 4 planets: Venus, Sun, Mars, and Mercury, in the 7th house, opposing the 1st house. So there is straight away there is a little bit of confrontation that we have to go through. Maybe it is from a family member, or maybe it is from an authority, or maybe it is from a someone in the government, or maybe it is a father figure, or maybe it is an intelligence related intelligence in the sense mind, not the CBI intelligence, or maybe it is just related to siblings or intellectual exchanges that you have with other person or someone confronts you, whatever the situation is, it is important for you to kind of stay calm, because it is kind of shaping you in a way that you probably would not have been able to do it yourself. So accept everything, embrace whatever comes your way, things will be very good and you will be very strong. So keep your belief systems, faith, and whatever meaning that you have for yourself within you, and there is no need to share outside. So Yoga Karaka, Mars, and the second lord, Sun, is placed in the seventh house, and Mars is in exaltation. So there is a lot of possibilities to kind of have, sudden increase in passion as far as romantic relationships is concerned, or maybe you meet someone, or suddenly kind of, if you're married, you see that the relationship with your spouse is suddenly ignited, and suddenly you start spending more time with the person. Or if you're not spending, the challenge will be to kind of sit and spend a lot more time, and the way it comes to us as feedback might be slightly challenging, but it is important to understand that we are the ones who need to change, so that it is important for us to kind of give enough time and prominence for the other half as well. So responsibility is there towards the seventh house matters, because Capricorn is responsibility, and some kind of a pressure is also there. So, and Sun is there, maybe the other person is dominating the proceedings at this point, and it is good to actually be submissive. There is no need to always be dominating. So especially for those people who have the ascendant in Aslesha, uh, it's okay that you don't need to kind of be this outgoing personality or the one who calls the shots all the time. Sometimes you can let other person call the shots, and it is actually a release or a freedom for you. So sometimes difficult conversations may happen in this one-to-one relationships, uh, be it partner, collaborator, or fiance or spouse or whosoever it may be. The hard conversations need to happen, especially when Mars is there, because with Mars and Venus there, the hard conversations which begin with conflict can potentially end up with a good conclusion, or ignited desire or something like that, that potentially increases the rewards from the relationship. So the Mars's placement has the potential to add friction or confrontation, but it is also transformative as far as the relationship experience is concerned. And part of the reason why Mars can actually do some good things towards the end is because Mars rules the fifth house and the 10th house of a trine and an angle. And therefore, Mars is the Yoga Karaka for the Cancer rising natives. So ultimately, things are going to end up well. So, money from partners or collaborations is going to come in, or it intensifies the way we plan for finances because of the second lord's inclusion. That also is going to be very important. Strategizing the finances and including your partner. Again, it comes to the family level as well. Second house is family, second house is finance, seventh house is partnership. So you have to sit with your partner or spouse and do this financial planning and strategizing at a family level in terms of how to utilize your resources, and don't do it yourself, because the other person can actually add a lot of value and help things become a lot more comfortable. And it is important for you to kind of give importance to that. So with fifth lord in exaltation, I think emotional self-expression and the way we express ourselves on the public platform or to our partners is going to improve, and it is going to get better. And there is no need for concealment, or there is no need of conversing something by something outside and keeping something inside. There's no need of it. So you can just be very open, but be very kind, and all those things. So overall, I think the relational aspects of Cancer natives life is coming into the picture, and I think there is a lot to look forward to, especially with the sixth lord not being involved in this configuration. I think this is a reasonably good one for Cancer rising natives.
Okay, great. So yeah, we must keep all these things in mind, what Ashwin is guiding us, because he is incorporating all the transits also. This is a very extensive thing and it requires a lot of effort. I appreciate this, Ashwin, so much because it is really, lots of information that you're imparting, not just sun's transit. So one must appreciate, please, everyone say thank you to Ashwin for doing this. I'm really grateful. So
No,
yeah,
thanks.
so see, of course, seventh house themes, you have already told that, this is an emotional kind of a transit also, but yeah, it is an inner healing transit also for you guys. And it's going to be a very, keep the ego aside in relationship. I always say that, in case you want things to get better and you rise also, when there is no egoistical clash involved. So this is your confidence boost is there in relationship especially. So this is about also your self-care and your instead of having the boundary set that no, I want my partner to do this must perform this way, that way, that's actually not going to help you. So it's better that you are more flexible during this time. And it's good if you can provide some knowledge to each other and examine your personal and professional partnerships well, and take necessary action to ensure that the fructification is done, not uh, competing each other. It's about completing each other, that kind of a transit. And as you know that there is the yoga karagraha, Mars is going to get exalted and combust also. So you need to keep a constant check on your ego clash, your verbal arguments, etc., also during this time. And whenever you feel that things are moving towards the ego, towards the authority, towards the problem zone, so the best thing that Cancer natives should do is just, because you people are very restless kinds also, it's better that you leave that zone for 6 hours. Just for 6 hours, leave that arena where you feel it's a tensed arena for you. And you see, after 6 hours, whatever, just it was just hot and cold, like it'll just come down, it'll fizzle out. So that anger will fizzle out. So just see that this is not the time to have strained relationship. Uh, it is about a reset of relationship. In case you are thinking or planning of a separation or any kind of legal battle, etc., I would suggest don't go there, not this month at least, and not post that as well, and not post that as well, because then we are heading to a Rahu and a Saturn energy also. So in case you have to think of separation, wait for another 3 months, and I think it'll fizzle out automatically. So once Sun transits your 10th house, things will definitely get better. So the tensions that you are feeling are going to take the limelight in your relationship or your personal relationship, interpersonal relationship. So it's better that you have a direct conversation and a direct talk, heart to heart talk. Okay. So it'll clarify a lot many things and it'll give you that boost in your relationship also. You can initiate alliances or business partnerships, etc. Also, this is a good time. And Uttara Ashara transit builds strong marriage foundations. Shravana, deep listening in relationship will help you. And when Sun transits Capricorn, Dhanishta, that is two padas, that is the time when you can harmonize your group dynamics. This will be a very positive time for that also. And full moon energies will reveal what relationship imbalances are. That is on the 1st of February. So use it well. And maybe you will be enhancing your support system if you are, plugging those leakages in the relationship or the negatives that you are already suffering with. So this is going to balance those imbalancing factors in your life. So use it well. I think it is going to be a good time period for you guys. So yeah, all the best and enjoy. Moving on to Leo.
Okay. For Leo, there is this concentration of the sixth house. So the Lord of the first house is going into the sixth house, and straight away, now is the time for Leo rising natives to take care of the health, especially because Ketu is in the first house, and Lord of the first house is going into the sixth house. Naturally, it's important to take some real good care of the health. And also, sixth house is about what we do. The second house is why we do. Sixth house is what we do, and 10th house is where we do. This Artha Kona, as we call in terms of Purushartha. So, sixth house is very, very important for our daily routine and what we do on a daily basis. So, with Mars in the sixth house, Mars again is the Yoga Karaka, the Lord of the fourth angle and the Lord of the ninth, which is a trine placed in the sixth house of exaltation, is going to push and power us forward to kind of do our work, especially at the professional front, with full speed. And we will forget that there are other areas in our life. So, sixth house is about what we do and constantly seeking this self worth by taking more and more responsibilities. And remember that with so much prominence in the sixth house, it is always good to kind of take up responsibilities. It is always good to kind of be there and do the right thing at the right time. But it is also important to take care of your own health and ensure that you don't take more than what you can actually achieve. With sixth house prominence, there is always this risk of over promising and failing. So, the only way Leo rising natives are going to kind of face some kind of a challenge during this particular period is by over promising than what they can actually achieve, because third and the 10th ruler is placed in the sixth house along with the ninth ruler. So it is almost like dharma karma adhipati yoga that is being formed. uh, and the second lord and the 11th lord is also placed in conjunction uh, with this yoga. So gains are also possible in terms of what we do, especially people, those who are running their own businesses. As long as you're not living through the moon's dasha, I think it is not bad to kind of expect any kind of gains from sources that we are actually expecting. So again, sixth house enmity. So with Lord of the rising sign in the sixth house, this is a good period. I mean, actually, a bad period in ways that we might develop enmity. So jealousy will creep in, especially with Rahu in the seventh house. So some people might be jealous of you, and you need to kind of ignore all those things and focus on the right thing. Service is really important, and therefore it is. Service is also part of what we contribute to the world on a daily basis with what we do. But on the other hand, it is also good to kind of donate something, possibly. To the best of your abilities, you don't need to kind of overburden yourself in terms of donation. So doing whatever you want to do or whatever you can do is actually good. Uh, so Mars and Capricorn action is for sure, but uh, be deliberate and be very mindful of how you act. Do not be rash and do not be very rude in nature. You might not be rude very purposefully, but sometimes what we do in the heat of the moment might actually end up being so for the other person. So they may not be receiving our body language in the proper way. So we cannot blame them as well. So overall, take care of your health and take care of your parents as well, because the Lord of the fourth and the ninth is in the sixth house. So taking care of parents is also really important. But overall, I think, except for challenges, almost on a daily basis, hindrances, little hurdles, I think overall for Leo rising natives, uh, this is a this is a good period if you're open and if you're mindful to how things are progressing. Be aware of your surroundings, especially with fourth lord in the sixth house. Being aware of your surroundings is really important. But it doesn't mean that while you're running on your track, you don't need to kind of look at the other person. Awareness is important, but do not stop yourself so that you're aware. So overall, enjoy the sixth house period and do what you need to do. Not a good time to go into loans, but a really good time to finish or complete loans, as a matter of fact. So yeah, have fun.
Great. I hope they do. They are all ever studying, I think. All the time they want to acquire knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. So they must enjoy, yes.
Yeah.
So sixth house theme, it's one of the Upchaya houses, so definitely very positive. Lagnesh in the sixth house, definitely you have to be more disciplined now, follow the routine. Discipline will bring success, and Mercury's presence may help you crack the exam that you're sitting for, a government exam in case you're sitting for, or also legal cases, any kind of legal battles if you're entangled in. Now you might just get that relief also. But just avoid overworking, because this is a combination of getting burnout also. So just be careful and structure and plan everything really well. Your routine, your workplace image, you can just build on that also during this time. It's a karmic work house actually. So when we talk about sun here, it is definitely going to help you boost your career or career goals, or maybe your conversation with your bosses and seniors and influential people might just increase. 10th Lord is also, after all, here. So it is definitely going to be helping you figure out the right path during this time. So focus on structured routine, productivity, and engaging in unnecessary conflict. I would say, just if you can take it easy or avoid, all the more better for you. And sixth house transit generally, is a relief from most of the things like your loans, debts, health, any kind of health issues, victory over rivals, relief from legal battles. So during this time, your endeavors will definitely be paid off, and you will be mostly successful also. Interactions would be helpful at the workplace or with the people you have not interacted from a long time, because third lord is also conjunct, and then the yoga karak graha Mars is also going to be here, and that is going to be ucha, but it is going to be kambas. It's okay, but still it is okay. So break the bad habits and resolve conflicts via strategy. Win through consistency. So the more you are consistent, the better your life gets and easier the life gets. So work on your structure, and I think you're good to go. In case you are having any kind of health issues, I think you should just not ignore it and go for the healing process. Okay. Thank you. Coming to Virgo. There are two questions also for Virgos.
Yeah, thanks. I think that was brilliant. But yeah, I will address, I'll try to address those questions with Virgo. So with Virgo, I think it's always about precision, analytics, being very careful, rational, and trying to always analyze or think before acting. So there is this natural tendency to understand details, and especially with a lot of the rising sign in the fifth house, the tendency to be intellectually very, very mature and also really good in terms of creative self-expression is even more inclined. There is a lot of meticulousness and the need to kind of perform, because fifth house is the creative self-expression, so it involves performance. So there could be some situations where you try to kind of subtly show off as to what you're doing, especially with sun also in the fifth house. But remember that sun is the lord of the 12th house in the fifth house. So it needs to be very, very carefully underplayed or downplayed. So people will take notice of what you're doing. You don't need to kind of show off yourself in an ugly way. And on the other hand, it might actually also go in a wrong way, because uh, the eighth lord Mars is also placed in the fifth house. So what we need to do during this period is continue to just keep expressing ourselves without adding any masala or drama in it. So overall, I think someone asked about travel. I think it is important to notice that if the travel is really purposeful or if it is really planned, from a Capricorn perspective. So if the travel is really planned, if it is purposeful, if everything is already written on paper before you travel, there is a lot of chance that the travel is fruitful. But if the travel itself is for leisure and if it is completely kind of unprepared, maybe it can be kind of a little drainful or something like that. So be very careful about your agendas when you're traveling. As long as you're not traveling to Venezuela or Iran, I think you'll be safe. So don't worry about it. Overall, I think, yeah. So besides, we have Mars, the Lord of the third house and the eighth house in the fifth house. So fifth house is active. First thing that comes to our mind is children. Uh, Taking care of our children and sometimes paying attention to even the little things that children come to us is really important, because they might feel ignored during this period and they might feel annoyed. And it it's just the children that you're going through something, even if you're busy, and it is up to the elders to understand that children actually need us. We can also take a little bit of a burden by addressing and entertaining the children when they actually need. So do not think of it, or do not overreact to the child, because now is the time you spend the time for your child. Venus is in the uh, fifth house, second house, family. There is a good opportunity for you to kind of take some time away and go for a weekend leisure. Maybe just go for a picture, or maybe enjoy a small drive or a picnic nearby, to a nearby location, and spend more time with your family because of the involvement of the second house. And it actually will make sense even if you go to a spiritual spot, be it a temple or something like that, because ninth ruler is also the second ruler. So going to a temple with the family and also adding a little bit of entertainment with children is really good during this period because of the involvement of 2, 5, and 9. It's just that we need to kind of make sure that we are very safe, we are very careful, and our effort doesn't really drain us, because eighth ruler can drain. So taking care is really important. Being very careful is important. Being rational, despite the involvement of Mars, is really important. Do not kind of abandon reason or logic. Virgo natives, your strength is to sticking to your logic, and make sure that you always stick to that logic for the most part. And 10th Lord in the fifth house is another good thing. So you will be recognized during this period. Recognized in the sense doesn't mean you will get a promotion right now, but you will be doing something that someone will take notice, so that you will get promoted at a later point in time. But what you do during this period is going to play a very, very pivotal role in terms of how you express yourself, in terms of how your future is being shaped wherever you're working, because Mercury is also the 10th ruler, and Sun, despite the fact that it rules the 12th house, it indicates some kind of fame or responsibility. So doing the job properly is good. And because Sun is the 12th ruler, the recognition is not going to be immediate. But people who will have to see what you're doing will actually take notice. You need not kind of put in extra effort. Just be intentional, be very, very organized in your approach, and always have a purpose, and stick to your calendar. Do not stray away from your calendar. If you stray away from your calendar, Mars, the eighth lord, can quickly take away uh, your time, and you will be kind of realizing that you spend time for something not really purposeful. So overall, it's a period to be very, very mindful, meticulous, and organized, and also careful planning in terms of how you are dealing with your family. Little dose of spirituality is also going to help. Little dose of entertainment and cinema is also going to help. So overall, it's a very mixed period, kind of enjoying all corners for Virgo rising natives, and being a little playful and not too serious is actually going to help you during this period. So enjoy your time with Capricorn, and spend your month very mindfully.
Yes, absolutely. One must balance, and especially the Virgos must actually,
Yeah,
sometimes they become very self-critical also, they ignore
correct.
themselves, their health, and their routines.
Yeah,
But yeah, it is a good time period when the trine is getting active which is a very positive thing which is happening. So you can gain structure and recognition during this time also, as you rightly mentioned. And romantic commitments may deepen, but with maturity, sensibility, and responsibility. So it's a good time period for that. And for travel, somebody had asked for medical emergency. So it is definitely possible, and you must, because with the current chart, which is right there, I saw moon there in the third house. So I said, yes, travels definitely are showing. And as regards to your, see, you must understand that this is like discipline meeting passion. So if you are passionate about your job, about your work, about your creative skills, your knowledge, your intelligence, your charm, so definitely, you will gain that success with Sun's transit into your fifth house also. Sun in the natural zodiac rules fifth house, and it is your fifth house transit also. So good for children conception, good for authority. In case you are looking for a job change, a place change, so this is going to trigger all of that as well. And Sun here actually, is I will not say it is losing Digbal completely, but yes, it was earlier in the opposite direction. Now it is gaining that strength because it is now inching towards its exaltation place. It is Uchabhilashi gradually. So what is happening here is that you are going to be having a purpose now. You're going to set a purpose. Okay. And it is achievable, but not so soon. As you rightly said, that it is not that immediately or in a near future it is going to happen. But for sure, whatever the foundation you will lay now, because this is the 8th house from your 10th, your karma house. So whatever foundation you will lay now will get culminized in the future months or this year itself. Say somewhere around April, May, you will see that things are getting better and better for you. Okay. So romance may gain depth, and full moon brings emotional maturity in romance. As I said, share your knowledge, express artistically. Don't overthink affection. Free flowing, be compassionate. No ego clashes, declare creative goals, write or teach, perform or present, whatever you feel like doing during this time. This is one of those time periods when you should be more into giving. This is the time for not just focusing more on yourself, me alone. No. Okay, that is why this is the house of creativity. This is the house of children, progeny, childbirth. When we see the fifth house, is a Purva Punya. So mantra siddhi, when sun transits here, it's a very good time to initiate mantra, maybe with a guru or a priest. You can take some diksha and you can start or initiate that. Okay, it's a good time. And this is 12th from your 6th. So it is recovery from your disease, recovery of the hand loan or the loan that you have given someone. It is 12th from the 6th, means it is good for your, like if you're on the losing side of a legal battle, now you will win it. Okay. So all the minuses of the 6th house will be balanced out now. So good for competition success also. Okay. So you must actually, just go ahead with any kind of relationship, but this is not a good time for speculative income or gains that you're thinking of, because you have your Lagnesh in the 10th Lord also getting combust in the 5th house. And then we have the second Lord also getting combust. So you must understand that this is not the time for venturing into something new, something different. Just take it easy. Maybe, if somebody says that, oh, I'm doing it, and out of ego, competition or boost, you're just showing yourself up. So then it can be a little difficult because, oh, that person can do it, why can't I do it? That comparison, when it starts, then it's a difficult situation. So you should be very careful about what exactly do you want to do with your money, with your finances right now. You have to be careful. Any which ways I have seen for Virgo, because you have your Cancer sign in your 11th house, you will have issues or maybe some fluctuations in your finances. It is up and down, up and down. Movable signs are there in the second and 11th house after all. So this is where, we have to check what is your chart saying. If at all you have a very strong Venus or a strong moon, then definitely it is not going to be a difficult situation right now. But if you are already having an afflicted moon, then this will bring about some loss of financial uh, self also. So see to it that you are doing, great in your, making decisions, and intellectually you're using your intellect well. Okay. Park your funds well, I would say. All the best. Over to Libra. Okay. Unmute.
Yeah. For Libra rising natives, we are having this great activation of the fourth house of Capricorn, and the 11th Lord Sun is going into the fourth house. And for cardinal signs, 11th Lord is the obstructor. And therefore, there will be some kind of obstructions or challenges that we may have to face in the domestic situations or domestic circumstances. So there could also be possibly a slight health challenge or something like that, which could interrupt our daily life. So it's just about fourth house, the Sukhasthana. So some kind of a blemish will or mild discomfort will happen to our overall well-being if we don't take care of ourselves properly. So second lord and the seventh lord, Mars, is placed in the fourth house in exaltation. So there actually this is a good period to kind of set up a nice foundation with the partner at the domestic environment, because it is the fourth house. But since the sun is involved, there could be a little bit of heated arguments in the domestic environment or inside the house. So make sure that what happens inside the house stays within the four walls, because Venus is there and Mercury is also there. Mercury is the lord of the ninth house and the 12th house, and Venus is the lord of the rising sign on the eighth house. So in a way, you have the ability to kind of deal with things in a reasonably soft way because of the involvement of Mercury and Venus. So make sure that you kind of trust your softness or kindness rather than your boldness and assertivity. So now is the time to kind of balance both these things and set up a really good domestic and emotional foundations. And fourth house is this dwelling place, isn't it? Like it's the place where sun loses its directional strength. But while it loses directional strength, it also indicates that something that is going under the ground. So sun is lighting up something that usually is not having light, and that is something that we need to pay attention and we have to see. So there is thought process that we need to put in. There is some serious focus that we need to put in the fourth house matters. So usually what I like to say for fourth house transits is try to kind of do a little renovation inside the house. Renovation in the sense, you don't have to break the bricks and do something big. You just need to reorganize something. Maybe you have a chair here and you can just put the table on the opposite side and sit on the other side. So what I usually do is like there is another table there. So sometimes during the fourth house transit, especially when moon is transiting my fourth house, I go there and sit on the opposite side so that things will change. There is a little bit of a shift in my mindset because of the change of environment. So we need to kind of consciously work on these things. With Mars also in the fourth house, you know, you can actually bring some new corner stand or a new kind of a flower, be it natural or artificial, depending on upon the situation in your house. So try to do all those things, and all these things will actually act as a mitigating factor in terms of how your domestic environment is transforming, and that is what you need to focus on. Venus in the fourth house building some aesthetics and dealing with some aesthetical stuff within your home environment, or kind of trying to do some new wallpaper or get a wall hanging like that. I did that when Ketu slowly entered into my fourth house, whatever you see behind. So all this is really subtly important, not kind of making this huge transformational structure, but it kind of makes a shift in how our domestic environment lightens up our mood. So for Libra rising natives, it is not about the external changes or big shifts, but it is about small changes or shifts that we make in our domestic environment that is going to kind of change the way we go about things. So there is no need to kind of socially be active or expand during this period, uh, precisely because the 11th lord and so much of planets are placed in the fourth house. Now is the time for you to kind of stay inside your domestic environment. And even if you want to go somewhere, just go with your family. And even if you're not married, it is good if you kind of take a solo trip for a day or two and enjoy the time yourself, because you need to kind of rework on your own inner foundations, be it emotional foundations or psychological foundations, whatever it is. And more importantly, spend some time with your mother, uh, and that will give you a lot of emotional peace in many ways. So overall, I think it's a really good phase for the inner work, or to kind of maintain this emotional apparatus in a very stable manner, so that we can actually present ourselves outside in a much better way. So for Libra rising natives, it's a calm, quiet period as long as you keep your calm.
I'm definitely going to be doing that, what you mentioned. I'm going to change my chair when moon transits my fourth. Okay, so a good time to reconnect with your family or family home environment, because sun is there and the Lagnesh is also there. So it's a good time to work on yourself. Maybe you educate yourself, you learn something more. You are ever learning, actually, always in that zone. So when sun is there, you have to avoid ego clashes. It is actually time to reconnect with your emotional core and your family. So it is also a good time, as you rightly mentioned, to reorganize. When it is full moon time, generally, Ashwin, I have one remedy that I always do. I move 27 items in the house. I do them. I just shift, because it's a full moon time. So it's a culmination energy. So wherever moon's light has not reached, because moon has 27 nakshatras, it's moon's nakshatras. So when we change those setup, like 27 movements, if we make in the house, it will get that, the light of the moon reaches to those where it's a darker zone also. When you put something, definitely underneath is there's no light. So when you remove it, especially on the full moon night, if you do it, I've seen that it changes your mental setup. So try doing that also with the moon, the full moon that is going to also be in the right opposite energies. This when sun is here, so that means sun will be in moon will be right opposite in Cancer sign when there is a full moon time. So moon is definitely going to be giving you those jitters, or maybe some emotional core may get hampered or disturbed. So you need to move, instead of your mental setup changing or getting volatile or getting emotionally charged. It's better that you shift your place, or maybe you just move out of your house and go to some other place, travel, and just change the place if you can't move all the items in your house. Also, it's a good time to buy property in case you have to fix any home issues. This is a good time. And this is also a good time for taking care of the elders in the family, and ignore emotional needs for productivity. Some home intentions when it's Uttarashara sun transit, and it said that you get connected to your roots You get connected to your childhood. Some experience that has happened in the past might resurface because it is illuminating that zone. So maybe, your conversation with your mom, something happened and you were just thinking about that, and you get emotional. And of course, it can bring about some reunions also with the family members, or maybe some ancestral ceremonies are there and you are just meeting up. So secure your roots and things are definitely going to get better for you. This is a good transit, I would suggest, if you have to make any kind of uh, you know changes, or maybe some stability that you're looking for at home, maybe mother property related or family bliss, which is, which means more to you. So this is a good time for getting connected to all of that. And this is also a placement when, you need to um, take care of your stress and worry, what area you're weak in. So sun will tell you to strengthen those areas also when sun transits for a month here. So it's a good time to keep a constant check on yourself. It's like there's a spotlight on you, specifically, your mental setup. So you will definitely be getting into that zone where you are understanding and managing everything really well. So you learn that. So you're going to be matured now. Okay. So good month, I would say, for you guys. Coming to the next one, Scorpio. Oh, is there a question?
No, I'm just trying to answer some of the questions that I could answer.
Okay. So yeah, we can move on to Scorpio now.
Yeah. Scorpio. I've been talking about Scorpio a lot very recently.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So, I'm anyway.
Okay.
Okay. Scorpio rising natives. Yeah. Okay. So, Lord of the rising sign Mars is exalted in the third house. So, and Sun, which is ruling the 10th house, is placed in the third house. So, conjunction of the Lord of the first house and the Lord of the 10th house, one of the great Raja Yogas that you can have. On the other hand, Venus, which rules an angle, is also placed in the third house, but the only small challenge is it rules the 12th house as well. And Mercury, the 8th lord and the 11th lord, is also placed in the third house. So overall, there is no real problem for Scorpio rising natives. It's a different story if you're going through a challenging dasha or something. But overall, from a transit perspective, in terms of what is going to transpire over the next 1 month, I see this is a reasonably good period, which is filled with beginning of new desires. Like you will have new desires, new starting things that start, or where you put your effort in terms of how you initiate something new in your life. All these things will come up. So Lord of the rising sign in the third house in exaltation, your communication is very, very important. So especially Mercury and Mars conjunction, sometimes again, as I mentioned, uh, for for Aries rising natives, for Scorpio rising natives, also it is important to kind of keep some track on how you communicate what you want to communicate. Make sure that you are not too rash, and also do not over speak. Again, with so much planets or prominence in the third house, there is always chances that we might kind of overspeak something. So communication is really important. Short distance travels are also possible, and short distance travels could actually end up being successful, even though they end up being draining. So new learning is possible, or initiating something new in terms of learning a new skill is also possible. This period can potentially be a very decisive period for you, so that if you're waiting to make some decisions, now probably is one of those better times to make some decisions, especially With Jupiter in the eighth house, one of those tips that I can give you uh, is try to kind of reorganize or revitalize your uh, finances that you have saved. Sometimes we just kind of park the money and we forget, but now is the time to kind of go back and see if it needs some kind of a realignment or reparking, because eighth house is long term savings or inheritance, whatever it is. So just look at where and how things are placed and how things are performing, so that you can end up having a decent run with what you have parked. So, as far as communication is concerned, whatever you say may have lasting consequences. So, make sure that you say the right thing. Be very practical, uh, being very strategic, and also being disciplined. So, third house is effort. So, there is a lot of emphasis on being disciplined in terms of our effort. So, if you plan to do something at 8 a.m. in the morning, make sure that you show up and do that exactly at 8 a.m. in the morning, because if you don't do that, there is a risk of missing the fruits of what you're going to achieve. So naturally, Scorpio rising natives oriented towards transformation and looking forward to constantly dive deep. So now is the time for you to kind of achieve to the fullest of your potential. But the only thing that is needed is the, not leisure. Do not spend time with leisure. Uh, Spend more time with your daily efforts and daily stuff, daily work. There is no casual talk for you. There is only serious talk for you during this time. Do not engage in conversations or chit chat or social media. It is going to waste your time, and this time will never come back, because four planets and two planets, Sun and Mars, placing a Raja Yoga in the third house is not something that always happens. So, siblings, more importantly, younger siblings, will play an important role in your life. If you have had challenges with your siblings or younger siblings, it is important for you to try and reconnect and save that bond. And if you already have a good bond, it is important for you to kind of have some communication and conversation or a collaboration going with your younger sibling. So, overall, paperwork, it's possible, but be a little careful because of the involvement of 8th and the 12th lords, because there is always something that is more than meets the eye. So any obligation that you have, try to complete it as soon as possible. Do not have any burdens, because the 12th lord and 8th lord in the third house can have the potential to completely fill your time just with obligations and burdens that you have to fulfill for the other people, and it is going to stop you from working for yourself. So consciously work for yourself, channelize your energy and spend your time for yourself. If something is an obligation that you cannot really avoid, just make sure that you finish that as soon as possible and get it out of the way. And overall, this is a good period for Scorpio rising natives that is filled with initiatives, beginning of new desires. But the thing is, don't get too carried away, because desires will take a long time to fulfill or accomplish. Third house, the beginning of the desire. 11th house is the accomplishment of desire. For now, there is nothing in the 11th house. It's just that 11th lord is in the third house, which indicates beginning of the desires. So be very careful and don't overdo or over expect in terms of what you want. Keep doing your work in a quiet way, but very sincerely.
Yeah, that's so true. Strategic moves, strategic
Yes.
communication. To be precise, that's what I wanted to say. Like third house is getting heavily impacted. There's a clustering of planets there, so clear articulation will be rewarded. So if you have any kind of don't misuse your courage. You're very strong, you're very powerful, you're thinking of doing so many things at the same time. So I would say that take it easy. This is not the month to get carried away and make decisions impulsively. And if you have to express yourself also, I would say that you need to take a pause. What is it that you're going through? What is it that you really need to communicate? So take a pause. And it's a good time for contracts, for writing, for short courses, journeys. Of course, for journey, you need to see the condition of your Venus also in your natal chart. So, in case Venus is well positioned, then definitely travels would be fruitful. And sun should be strong as well, because if you're traveling for work, then definitely you need to uh, align your sun with your travels as well. Maybe you're in the sun dasha, then it'll impact you even more. It is good for maybe some kind of message that you want to send, maybe in writing. That'll be better, instead of speaking it away and giving your ideas away like that. Maybe you're in impulse, you will say something, or out of ego, that I have to prove my point, so you might just say something which might not be giving back the kind of return that you are expecting. Maybe the idea that it is yours is patented, but what happens, somebody steals it or somebody takes it away from you and then uses it. That can be giving you that kind of setback. So be careful. Start newsletters, build online presence, all that is okay, but at the same time, be watchful about what you speak. No loose talks, basically. Speak with responsibility. If you're a public figure, especially, and listen to what's unspoken, something which is not vocal, someone who is not vocal about it. So try to understand and announce something very bold towards the end of the transit. So somewhere around, say, 10th of February onwards, if you have to, so announce something. I always say that during the Sankranti time, when sun is on the cusp, you should not make any important decisions, travels, investments, joining a job, etc. If you can push it, of course. We can't do it. That's not our decisions, of course. These kind of decisions are not ours. But in case you can push it, so all the more better to avoid the Sankranti time. That is somewhere around 12th, 13th, 14th of February. If you get a job, you have to join it. So avoid. And of course, this is a good time for selling off your property, in case, because this is 12th from your fourth house. So this is a good time for selling off your property. This is a good time for your health also, improvement of your health, because it's the 10th from your sixth. And personal relationship you will feel satisfied in the relationships also with your siblings and all. So, of course, you are going to be a guiding light to them, counsel them well. That is what they will come to you for. So do it. And it's a stable time in case you are stable yourself. Okay. So use it well. Going to Sagittarius now.
Yeah. Sagittarius, that's one. Oh, what's happening? So for Sagittarius, the second house is active. A lot of the ninth house is going into the second house. So it kind of throws light into family related matters, and also the ethics and philosophical principles that we follow within the family. So it's about value, like how we value our family, and what is the value of our own family, and what is the value of ourselves within the family setup. All these things will come into picture. The Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars are placed in the second house of Capricorn. So finances will be really important. So now is the time for you to kind of start budgeting for the rest of the year. Maybe for Sagittarius rising natives, this is a good period because you are natural adventurers, and maybe there is every chance that you tend to kind of spend money a little quickly. So now is the time for you to kind of hire someone, uh, a professional, a financial planner or someone, and do your budgeting, so that you don't park your money unnecessarily, or spend your money unnecessarily in places that you shouldn't. So carefully handling your resources is really important. Planning, strategizing, and organizing your resources, not just financial, but any resources that you have, is really good. So that is, that is another good thing. And what resources you have sometimes kind of forces you to kind of assess your self-worth or your security. In a way, it is important, but it is also important that you don't overthink or over correlate your self-worth with the resources that you possess. That's not really true. And that is the little bit of a confrontation that you will have. So always try to kind of stay away from comparing yourselves with others. uh, Mars, the lord of the fifth and the 12th house in the second house, indicates some kind of expenditure or something towards the children, because Mars rules the fifth house and the 12th house, and it is placed in the second house of income and finances. So maybe you have to pay your fees for the child for the next year, or maybe you have to plan how you will pay the fees, or university fees or school fees for your child in the upcoming year, and do some budgeting for that. So that is really important. So parking the money for necessary matters is really important. Spending the time for entertainment is okay, but make sure that you don't do impulsive purchases, especially with 12th lord Mars in the second house. There is every chance that you will go ahead and do some impulsive purchases. So if you have any kind of a desire that you want to purchase something, always keep in mind that, uh, wait for another day or two, or maybe wait for a week. If you still feel that you need uh, whatever you desire, it is good to go ahead and buy. But also notice that what kind of a value the purchase is going to add to your life, because second house is about value and possessions. So whatever you're about to possess, or whatever you desire to possess, imagine yourself having it and see what kind of a value will it add. And if you don't have it, will that particular uh, you know thing of not having it, will it derail the situation in your life, or is it not going to improve your life or something like that? So try to assess the pros and cons of what you're doing, so that things will be uh, practical. And Capricorn is the time where we need to kind of spend time in a practical way. Agreements can be done, but again, be very careful with the lord of the sixth house and the 12th house. So Mercury, the lord of the 10th house, is placed in the second house as well. So it is again really important for you to place value in terms of how you work or where you work. So if you and try to understand how people value you. Don't over expect anything at workplace, but make sure that you understand your value and don't devalue yourself at workplace. Sometimes, the on the one hand, we over expect, and we get disappointed. But in case of Sagittarians, at this point, the risk is about devaluing ourselves, and when something comes to us, we suddenly feel surprised and we are not ready for it. So don't be in that way. You are really kind of, you need to kind of put your value up, and not just in terms of financial security or self-worth, but also in terms of career. The reason why I'm saying that there is chance of devalue is because of the involvement of the 12th lord with Mercury. That does not devalue your position in terms of where you're working. So make sure that you value yourself appropriately at workplace, and get your strategy as far as financial matters and family related concerns uh, are concerned. And ninth house, take care of your father. It's really important, and spend some time with your father. And also reading a 5-minute philosophical text or spiritual text is really important. So one of the habits that I developed when my second house was really active years ago, when Rahu was in the second house, was that I used to have this not Rahu and Ketu, in fact. So I used to have this phone, and I used to have Kindle application on my phone. So wherever I'm standing or wherever I'm idle, I just open the Kindle application. I get a few books, and I read like a page or two on Kindle wherever I get a chance. It doesn't mean that you need to be very mindful and consistently kind of keep reading or something like that. But it is always good to kind of do that instead of scrolling down the social media, especially with Rahu in the third house. There is a risk of spending too much time on social media and, falling into the illusions and all these things. But now is the right time for you to kind of open up a Kindle application on your phone and start reading a page or two, at different times during the day, so that you add something in your mind and your value naturally increases. So overall, this is the time where you need to kind of appropriately value yourself and push yourself forward in terms of what you need to do. But I think it's a reasonably good period for Sagittarius rising natives. And yeah, enjoy.
Elaborate one. I don't think so. I have anything much to say. It's
Yeah,
good
I
if you
think I
can
just overspoke.
revalue. No, it's good. No, it's good. You're giving so much of information. I'm also learning so much. Um, as you rightly said, it's a time to reevaluate your, income and savings and spendings and build wealth and discipline, all that. The basic themes we should follow and stick to the basics, of course. As Ashwin and me both are sitting, just talking the basics, nothing, no rocket science, simply put. So it is good to stabilize your income, and it will give you clarity also. Wherever sun sits, it will give you clarity in that zone. Remember. So you will get clarity about your finances, where you should be investing, what kind of budget planning you should be doing for the monthlies, and how you can, be well versed with the family norms, and how you should be, conversing with your family, and also, how you should be sorting things out. If there is any inheritance matter, ancestral property, etc., you want to just sort it out now. It is not going to be a prolonged process. Your luck lord is, after all, in the second house. So it is definitely very positive for financial vision. Sun is vision also. Sun is eyesight. That is why it is the eyes. So you will definitely get that clarity about your future perspective. Plan long-term savings and speak truth, because sun will not pardon you otherwise. So you need to be more on the follow your family lineage and values, and value the structure. So that is what is going to pay back. Otherwise, things will definitely be, little negative, and in the family there will be clashes, and financial decision making might just not be the correct one. So all of that you have to see as well, and set value based goals. When sun is in the Uttarashada nakshatra, refine your speech and food habits. Eat right when sun is in Shravana. When it is in Dhanishta, then manage wealth rhythmically. You will get all the opportunities. So you have to be careful about what you want to pick and choose, what kind of path you have to pick and choose. And in case you have a weak sun in your natal chart, so this may cause financial difficulties, and maybe, you will be very temperamental in your personal and professional relationship. All of that you have to take care of. And the lord of the second, that is Saturn, is in your fourth house. So you need to take the advice and help from your some of your family members, maybe your mother, to decide about your finances also. It's good for your mother's financial growth though, because from Saturn, this is your 11th house, which is getting active. So definitely good for education also. If you channelize your funds towards studies, education, learning more, maybe you will learn about the investments and, banking, and how you can make money out of money, investment planning and all that. Nowadays, there are so many platforms where you learn, you do short-term courses, and nowadays it's like rupees 99, you get to do the courses. I don't know what they teach in that though. It's all fraud, I feel. But still, if you're getting that, so just be in that zone and just learn more, if no harm in trying. And don't fall prey to the deceiving people. That is something you have to be careful about. Moving on to Capricorn.
Okay.
And I have given one remedy for the correct diagnosis in the comment section here. So please do the remedy. I'm sure you'll be out of it.
Yeah, I was
You'll get,
wondering what
yeah.
rising sign that person was asking for. So
See, it's nothing to do with rising sign. I think it is about Sagittarius though. But
okay.
when you're not able to make the diagnosis, that is Rahu energy playing out. So that is why we cut the Rahu into half. That is why, Ketu gives the treatment maybe. So
Correct.
when we are talking about this remedy, it is cut the coconut, the puja coconut with the hair, cut it into two halves, fill up the half with black sesame seeds and cover it with the other one, the half that you have. Cover it and roll it, or tie it with the rolly, the molly, or a molly that you have, the red thread, and just put it in this in such a manner that you can hold it like this. So that is tied, and there is a little string which has been made like a yo-yo string, and you have to
Yeah.
just dip yourself and the coconut 4 times. You have to say that I want my name is so and so, and I want the diagnosis, and then just immerse that in the flowing water, the coconut.
Cool.
And you will see within a span of maximum 48 hours to 1 week maximum, I'm saying, you will get the diagnosis. It is a very, very impactful remedy. I've seen it works. It works
It's really
really
cool.
well. Yeah. And it's all Rahu remedy, actually. When you don't get the diagnosis, you should. Okay. Moving on to
Right.
Capricorn. Yes.
So yeah, Capricorn, what a wonderful period with so many planets in the first house: Venus, Sun, Mars, Mercury, all in the first house. So to talk about the lordships, Yoga Karaka, the fifth ruler and the 10th ruler is placed in the first house. Ninth ruler is placed in the first house, forming Dharma Karma Adhipati Yoga. And Mars, the lord of the fourth and the 11th, is also placed in the first house. So I don't know, like it's a Sun is the eighth lord, the only challenging planet that is placed in the first house. But again, Sun is all about vitality, so transformation. So Sun is kind of, in this case, I think it is about trying to find clarity where clarity was not there for a long period of time, taking ownership of your life and taking charge and control of your life, and being very decisive. Because I know that for Capricorn and even Aquarius rising natives, the life has been slightly draggy for almost 5 to 6 months because of Saturn's retrograde motion. But it's more than almost close to 45 days since Saturn turned direct, and now there is a lot of concentration in the first house and third house. Saturn is placed in the third house, which means that all these planets are being received by Saturn into its territory. So there is a nice reception that all these planets are getting from Saturn. So this is the best period for Capricorn rising natives to be very, very, very decisive and take action, show your presence, and stamp your authority, not in a very dominating manner, but in a very subtle manner where people actually respect you. You naturally become more visible because of all these planets. Whether you like it or not, you will have visibility, and the way you conduct yourself at this point, and the way you make your decisions, and way you control your life is going to force people to perceive you in a way that will actually stay with them for a very long time. So take charge of the direction that you have been traveling and that you're going to travel. Things are slowly moving forward, and there is no more stagnation in your life. So I mean, whatever circumstances that you have faced, be it stagnation or being passive growth or being slow growth, now is the time for you to kind of push forward. So things will move forward. As far as fifth house is concerned, creative self-expression, and eighth lord. So there will be a little bit of a burden or challenge that you may have to go through at work because of the fifth and the 10th lord's conjunction in the first house with the eighth lord sun. So it's not going to be as rosy, but I think it is a reasonably successful period. There will be times where you have to put in long hours at work. Do not be worried about it. Try to do it. Now is the time where you actually do some meticulous hard work. It is very natural for Capricorn rising natives during this period to kind of put in a lot of effort, because it is what the planets are calling for. Do not hope for charm, do not hope for trust, do not hope for maturity from other people. Show yourself all these things, because Venus is placed in your first house, Sun is placed in your first house, which is leadership. Venus is in your first house, which is kindness. And Mars is placed in your first house, which is energy and desire. And Mercury is placed in the first house, which is intellect and intelligence. So there is so much of concentration in the first house. Everything is with you, including time and effort. It is up to you to channelize. And in fact, you will be in a position where you have to transform the entire place that you're working on, be it your family or be it your workplace or be it a social community or whatever it is. What you say and how you work is going to force other people to kind of be inspired and follow your path. So this is not a phase for relaxation. This is a period for active transformation and high energy or high octave speed in which you are actually going to move on. So yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah,
For Aquarius and Pisces, Ashwin, you'll have to take over. You're doing
yeah,
it so well. It is like to elaborate from your side. I need to leave. And you can close also because now you're the host, so you can do it also from
no
your
problem.
side. So
Yeah,
kindly take the
no
lead.
worries.
Thank you
No
so
problem.
much.
Yeah, thanks.
Stay blessed,
Take care.
everyone. Thanks so much. And I apologize. Everything is good. Don't worry. So many planets in the first house for Capricorn. Very good. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it. Okay.
yeah,
Take
yeah.
care. Bye. Bye.
Thanks. Okay. For Aquarius rising natives, so we are looking at so much of concentration in the 12th house. So seventh lord sun is going into the 12th house. So relationship matters need some kind of attention, or if you are going through some kind of challenges in relationship, now is the time for you to kind of spend some time with your partner and do some inner work and really have important deep conversations and honest conversations for you to kind of transform and rejuvenate the relationship overall. So this is more of a self-reflective phase. It's a very quiet period for Aquarius rising natives. So you might feel stressed, or you're probably already stressed. There is a little bit of a tendency to kind of withdraw both physically and emotionally. You don't want to be present in places that you don't want to be present, and you are going through some kind of endings in your life, be it something that you've been doing is closing out, or it is coming to a culmination, or maybe you are losing an elder one in your family, or you lost someone and you're dealing with challenges. All these things will slowly settle, but now is the time for you to kind of explain yourself or to your inner self that sometimes it is good to actually take a break. So now is the time for you to sleep, uh, actually sleep, and spend some time privately rather than going around publicly. And there is no need to be inclined to be present everywhere. There is no need to seek recognition. Conserve your energy. Be at a private space. Work for yourself. Work privately. You don't need to spend too much time for other people. Your mind is busy. You are kind of going through a lot internally. Maybe sometimes you don't realize, but you are carrying a burden that you are unable to describe or you are unable to release. And 12th house is that withdrawal period. 12th house is all about release. 12th house is getting away from the madness and isolating yourself. What is an isolation in the future? When you actually enjoy isolation, it is going to turn into solitude, and it will help you kind of have this final release and transformation. Given that Mercury, the lord of the fifth house and the eighth house, is placed along with the lord of the ninth house and also the third and the 10th house, it is important to sit and write. Right. So journal. And putting pen on paper is really important. And even if you're not able to put pen on paper, open the Google Docs or notes on your phone and start writing or whatever you want to release. Put down your thoughts, journal, do some journaling for a month and see how it turns out. You will largely unburden yourself, and you will start transforming yourself. You will see optimism inside yourself, and finally, without anyone's advice, you will end up kind of doing a lot of these things by yourself. So it is not that Raja Yoga is only present in the angles or trines. Raja Yoga is the connection of the lords of the fifth, ninth, or the 10th, and the 11th, that are going into, not the 11th here, but in general. Now we have all these things in 12th house. It means the Raja Yoga is actually working in terms of how we need to process all these, release the burdens that we are carrying. So overall, I think it is a good period for you to enjoy solitude. And if you have any action, or if you are facing any challenging situation, just withdraw yourself from it. You don't need to confront or don't have any arguments with anyone. Even if relationship feels distant, or if someone is ignoring you, it's okay. That is how it is meant to be. There is nothing that you can do, because you cannot change anyone. And in terms of relationship, if someone is kind of moving away from you, you cannot kind of force them. That is not who you are, right? If someone wants to go away from you, they want to go away from you. It means that they are just not meant for you. So work on the process, trust yourself. Saturn, the lord of the rising sign, is placed in the second house, and you need to value yourself. Saturn has turned direct. Enjoy valuing yourself, cultivate faith in yourself, and start moving forward. And this is a period of transformation, because Saturn is currently in Purva Bhadrapada. There is a lot of scope for transformation, and this transformation can be very, very stubborn. And make sure that you enjoy the stubborn transformation and do not look behind. Once this 12th house transit in Aquarius is over, you will move forward and there is no looking back. And this is a chance for you to rejuvenate, release, and unburden yourself, because the future is waiting for you. Moving on. This is. Yeah. With Pisces, again, it's a really good transit for Pisces, with a lot of planets in the 11th house. A lot of the 6th house is in the 11th house. Natural malefics usually do well in the 11th house, be it Sun, or be it Mars, Rahu, Ketu, or Saturn. They all do well in the 11th house. And here, Sun is the 6th lord, and 6th lord placed in the 11th house is basically gaining from what we do on a daily basis in our lives. So Venus is the lord of the 3rd house and the 8th house. So there is also some kind of a blockage or challenges in terms of receiving something or achieving our gains. So there is a lot of opportunities for us to kind of inherit something. Inheritance is one of those themes, because Venus, the 8th lord, is placed in the 11th house, gains from inheritance. And Mars, the lord of the 2nd, and also the lord of the 9th, which is the Yoga Karaka for Pisces rising natives, is placed in the 11th house of its exaltation. So there is a good chance for you to kind of earn better income or formulate strategies for earning better income. If you're already earning an income, maybe now is the time for you to kind of thinking about parking the money in the right place. Not speculation or not futures or options. It's not that I'm saying, but do something with long-term perspective. Even if you're earning 20,000, think about saving 5,000 and spend the rest of the money. So start saving and then start spending. So that is the good strategy for Pisces rising natives. So with Capricorn, 11th house for Pisces rising natives, social circles become a really important place. Friends are ruled by the 11th house. Elder siblings is ruled by the 11th house. So it is all about organizations or institutions, the place where you work, or the social community or social circles that you are engaged with or that you are participating in will play an important role in your life. Friends will play an important role in your lives. New people will come into your lives, and they will kind of shift the way you look at life, and the perspectives will change, especially with your rising sign. So the lord of the rising sign, Jupiter, in the fourth house in its retrograde motion, you're constantly revisiting in terms of who you are and how your position is within your domestic environment, and sometimes it directly relates to your external environment. So Venus in the 11th house is all about reliability in friendships. Sometimes it also indicates the risk of falling for the wrong people. So it is important to be careful because Venus is the lord of the eighth ruler. So sometimes casual socializing for Pisces rising natives with too much of consideration of sixth and the eighth lord also in the 11th house can pose a little bit of a challenge. So if you're finding someone new, it doesn't have to be a romantic partner, especially with Mercury's involved in the 11th house. It could be a romantic partner that you find someone, but still it is important for you to make sure that you're finding the right person and you're getting in touch with the right person. No need to submit emotionally very early on in any relationship, be it romantic relationship or be it friendship or be it social circle. Do not overcommit. Just look at what is going on. For instance, if you're kind of joining a community in a nearby location, make sure that you don't overcommit yourself with time or energy, because at the end of the day, you might actually end up spending too much time for that. Because of sixth and the eighth lord, it will end up being a burden. So be sure to do uh, only what you can do, and do not take over leadership in collective settings, especially in terms of social circles or community related matters. So overall, I think this is a reasonably good time for Pisces rising natives. People who are looking forward to get some money from other sources will most likely get that money. uh, so I think overall it's a reasonably nice period. So I think this entire Capricorn season itself, although it is a challenging phase for the nation, I think it's been a really good phase for individuals. And I know Vanita ji has left, but I'm sure she has contributed a lot to this channel and to all of you by doing all these wonderful videos for almost a decade now. So I'm always enjoying talking with Vanita ji and also kind of presenting my own ideas and thoughts to all of you. And I wish you this wonderful Capricorn season, amazing Makar Sankranti, and enjoy the festive season with all your family members, and enjoy a joyful festive season with Sun in Capricorn. And we'll see you in another video.